Hi, this screencast is aimed at developers wanting to create a simple Tohu-based application to see how it works. Tohu is based on JBoss rules, and it's a set of rule classes and UI components that combine to generate a web user interface from a set of business rules. For this screencast, I assume you've got JDK 5, Java 5, and Maven already installed. So I'll start by checking out the latest copy of the Tohu archetype from the Subversion repository. Okay. Now if I have a look at the README file in here, there's got a sample command to use to create the test project, so I'll just copy that one and we'll create the test project. Now we'll just compile the test project. And then we'll run it. And we run it using Jetty. It's just lightweight, simple, but it can run on any application server. Again, if you haven't got all the dependencies, this may take a minute or so. Now that Jetty started, we just actually open up the application. And the thing about this application, as it's building the rule files now, is to remember that the entire application is actually created using rules. So everything you're seeing here is actually rule-based. And there's some simple validations. For example, if I put an incorrect email address in, again that's driven by the rules. We use jQuery, so there's a variety of components that we can leverage. There's dynamic behavior. If I want to have an alternate postal address, I select that, and then these items get displayed. And this information is stored in the stateful session within the rule server, and I can bring it out. And here's just a very simple dump of the data that was in there that we put in. Okay, so let's actually now have a look at the application. So I'll just kill that with Control-C. I will set it up to load into the Eclipse project. And we'll use Eclipse just to view it. So opening up Eclipse, I'll import it. And now we'll have a look at some of the key aspects of the application. So if we have a look in here in the Tohu.xml, this is how we specify the rule files to use. And there's a bunch of them that come from Tohu itself, and then this one here specifies where we go look for the rules that are generated for this application. Now these rules have been generated automatically from a spreadsheet, which I'll discuss in more detail later. So here's an example of the overall application, what we call the questionnaire, and it has one page and has a label that gets displayed on the UI. If we have a look at the contact details page in here, I've got an overall group defining the page with 3 sections: personal details, main address, and postal address. And if we have a look at the personal details group, it has given name, surname, date of birth, email, and phone. And here we can see that there are further hints given to the UI using presentation styles. And there's a pretty clear separation between creating the rules that control the logic and the style sheet in JavaScript, if you need it, that controls the presentation. And here we're giving a hint that we want to use a section for the presentation. So if we want to have a look at the conditional logic for the display of the different postal address, here we have the logic that controls that. If the different postal address question is answered true, then put this group into the system with the postal address, suburb, city, postcode. So let's now just exit out of here and we'll try making a change. So firstly, we'll just start up the project again. And we'll just start in GT again. And while that's started up, I'll load up the spreadsheet to show you what that looks like. So here, for example, is a spreadsheet that we use where we define the overall application and some information about that. Just zoom in a little bit. So here we have basically the hierarchical structure. We have one page with personal details, and then under personal details we've given name, surname, date of birth, etc. These have different types: page, group, question, and then we have labels that get displayed on the UI, and we have styles that are then picked up by the style sheet, and that way you can have the one application, but different depending on what style sheet you want to use, quite a different look and feel. So if we go back to the actual application, and one of the things I want to point out is what the current flow looks like, and maybe we want to look at changing that or changing an item of that. So in here, if we look at the street address, suburb, city, postcode, maybe you want to add in a country field. Well, we can use the spreadsheet to change that. So in order to have this automatically happening, what I'll do is I'll also change into the test project, and I'll run a piece of Java code that automatically looks at that file, that spreadsheet file, scans it, and generates the DRLs from it. So if we go back to our spreadsheet, and let's add in the country in here. So we have country, and it's a question with a text answer, and put the label country on it. And if we save that and flick back to our terminals, we can see that it's processing the file. It's already created the DRL files. On this side, at the moment we've got a wait of 30 seconds while it polls everything for the changes. There we go. It's picked up that changed information. To keep consistency. But if we load it up now we can see that we've got a new country field displayed. So pretty easy, and hopefully you can have a go at checking it out and enjoy.